Alright, we have the wall repaired. We put new blocks in on the edge. And then it comes out and goes over there. We have a little concrete down at the bottom here to make the water run out and away from the wall when it runs down. And we sloped the whole top edge of this so that it slopes downhill. Rounded the edge. Got a piece of rubber weather stripping to go underneath our steel plate. You can see the concrete blocks on the top edge there, all replaced from here on out. But this one on out are all new concrete. The other ones all crumbled and turned into dust as we took them off, so they were pretty worn out. And we're gonna put steel plates on top. You can see these steel plates here. I'm gonna lay on top of the wall with foam sill seal that you buy for doing a wall. When you put down a wall on a concrete, you put that down to keep the wood and the concrete or the steel or aluminum, whatever you put over the top of your basement wall, separate. And then we're going to take this tar paper that's actually like a single ply self-stick roofing with gravel on it, and run that from the edge here down and out over the concrete, and that'll get buried under gravel and dirt. And it's actually rated for that. It's used in underground and stuff and pits, but it's soft and flexible and self-stick, and that'll keep the wall 100% waterproof. And hopefully when the rain hits it from the roof up there, it drips off, it'll hit this and run off and go away from the wall and not soak through the wall. We pressure washed all the wall. The wall's all pressure washed and cleaned. Well, let it dry after we put the door back on, then we'll paint it with the basement waterproofing. We use the wall patching cement on some of these little cracks to basically seal up any little holes and stuff like that. That's supposed to be water sealing plug. And make it in a little bucket. It's called a dry lock fast plug hydraulic cement, and that stuff sets up in like 5 minutes, so it's good for sealing up any little holes and stuff where the cracks and where the bolts used to be before we put the new stair stringers in. We're going to cover the whole wall with waterproofing, and hopefully that'll keep all the water out of here. So we'll see how that goes. Alright, now we've got a piece of this self-stick peel off roofing on here, and we're going to heat it with a torch to make it stick, because it's only about 50 degrees out. But you can see it's going to wrap around the corner and shield up the wall. Yep, we're going to use a little torch. It's the little plumbing torch. And that'll be quick and easy way to melt this stuff. It actually melts and sticks right there. Alrighty.
Alright, you're recording.
Alright, and we got the little torch to heat this up. We just have to get the surface slightly wet and molten. And it'll bend around and seal. Can also heat this bottom here. This makes it more flexible. It's supposed to be self-stick at 50 degrees. It's not going to really stick that great. So it'll help it along. Plus it'll bend better. Our concrete's still a little wet, so may not really stick well to that. And we're just going to peel this top edge back and melt that a little bit, just to give it something. We kept the concrete deliberately covered for a few days to keep it moist, because the concrete sets by moisture, not by drying. So wanted to keep it from freezing at night. And we will let it dry out now that we've got the thing Where's my trowel? There's the trowel. Use the trowel rather than burn my hand. Into one side. This way it won't ever come off or fall off of there. And then the steel plate will come over the top of it. It should be 100% watertight. Now, you can flip this up. Heat underneath here, hopefully. Makes this bend a little better. Stick up against the wall. Our concrete's still a little wet there. Eventually, it'll stick down over time. In the summer, when it gets warm, it's going to be buried under gravel or dirt or whatever. So, it's not the end of the world if it's not sticking at the moment. Hopefully, this will have all our water run down the hill away from here. I guess you could pause it. Okay, so we've got a piece of this sill seal blue foam, soft foam with ridges in it that make a good seal, keeps the air, bugs, water, all that out of the wall. And we're going to put that on here. Tape it down over the top of our stuff. Preferably we don't have the tape show when the steel plates are in place. And that'll give us a place for the steel to sit on top so the steel doesn't rust or anything. And it's also going to give us a little bit of a slope. Steel plate should lay on top of here. We cut it off to length. I made it just a little bit past the wall because I'd like to have like a little drip edge on there. They tell you to put it straight up against it, but I'd like to have the foam be a pad and the tar paper, single ply roofing stuff be a little bit of a pad between the wall and the plate, and that should give us a downhill slope. So that water will run off. Whatever lands on here, we've got a pretty good slope on it because we made the black tape a little thicker than the blue, and the wall was already sloped. We ground it off with a grinder, and then we just got to do this to the two sides. Put all the plates on, and then we're going to lay the door on top of it and drill the holes through the mark where the holes go, and drill the holes through the plate, and then take the plates off and drill the holes through the concrete to put in anchors, lead anchors in the wall. And once we got that all in, then we put the door back on and put the lead anchors through the door and through the plate and into the wall, and hammer the lead part down like a pry bar without hammering the nail in, and then we'll be able to hammer the nails in once we got them all in place and everything's set. All right, now we can see how we put this together here. We had a little scrap that's a little bit short. I didn't want to buy an 8-foot plate just to cut off 2 feet of it, so this is a 6-foot plate and I need 6'1" or so. So I put a little scrap piece of that end out there on. You can see the end was cut off because it's a 6-foot plate and it's only 5 feet. So we cut that little 6'inch or so piece that we had left over all over and cut it into 2 pieces to fill in the space. The tar paper goes down along the whole edge here. And then at the corner out there, they should line up nice and square and straight. And I can move this in and out. I don't have to be very precise because I've got this little filler piece that's going to be hidden on the outside, mainly because the actual thing will sit here, the door. So at the corner here, we should be able to bring this out until it's nice and even. It shouldn't see too much on the corner there. It should be pretty much even and straight, hopefully, when we're all done. And we're gonna put the door on here, mark the positions of the screw holes. And there's already some holes in the wall there, but I think they'll probably be a little higher. And then it screws in at the top into the wood of the frame here and down the other side. We got to put one more on this side. We just dug the dirt out, you can see, and I'm putting a little square patch at the end. I'm going to melt and glue to the wall. That'll help keep the corner all nice and watertight. There's a 2-foot overhang on the roof, so not a lot of water gets in here, but keeps bugs and water and dirt out and all that. Can't hurt. And we're going to slope it down to our little concrete out there and make it all nice and even. Alright, and then we'll put that final plate on and be ready to put the door on.